time you're around this particular child, can you see if you're seeing what I see? You know, just have that extra eye to look at something with you. Of course, talk to your colleagues, which is what we just spoke about. Talk to or survey the students. You have questions or you have guidelines in your book that maybe you can break down out of a large session from your classroom meeting guidebook, and you could meet with the student that way. Collect information from the students. When they were talking about individual meetings, not only with the student who has been bullied, but the students who are bullying, individually you can get a lot more information. Miss Ashley, I've always, like last year, really observed how amazing it was when we could talk to them in a group and you wouldn't get too much out. But wow, when she met with them individually, the information she came out with was amazing. And she could start the process that way for consequences. And then lastly, contacting parents. We know that, Jesse, that's not going to be easy always, because we could have parents who unfortunately bully as well, and probably won't take it as good as the parent did in the video some days. That's TV, so they make it look good. But anyway, do you have any questions before we move on? Yes.
What kind of training do the bus drivers receive? Because it seems like a lot of this happens on the bus.
There is talk about the bus drivers doing this training. That's part of the community that Hickory Public Schools has not gone to yet. But there's talk even of, for example, Angela mentioned at cookout. You know, when Hickory High School goes around the corner, they go to cookout and they're all standing in line, or Checkers, or now Dunkin' Donuts, Jimmy John's, all that. We're going to have some fat students. But obesity, we're going to talk about obesity now. But
It's gone down nationally, though.
It's good.
A little bit, so.
That's true. It's true that. Anyway, so they're talking about the community piece, to have at those restaurants the anti-bullying, the posters. So everything that they see in the schools, they see in the restaurants they attend, especially where they attend where there is no parental supervision. You know, the middle schoolers, as they get older, they're starting to walk down the street and go to Rite Aid, go over and volunteer places.
What about assistants? Do they get any of this?
You know, probably not. Their talk early on was they didn't want to go to bus drivers and everybody else until every school was done, and we're on like a 2-year training cycle, because we're like right in the middle. There are some schools that haven't even started their training yet. And so once they get that done, they're looking at bus drivers and so forth. The problem now with assistants is going to be, when do we train them?
Right.
There, and along with assistants, that was cafeteria workers and janitors. I mean, ideally, it's everybody.
Playground aides.
So that if Jeff saw something happen, Jeff could step in. So that if the cafeteria worker saw something, they could step in. The bus driver, they could step in.
This training was supposed to be for all staff. Yeah, building just agreed, we can't require all the staff to be here to do it.
I just have a quick question. The video talked about conversations early on, and it may just be because I'm still relatively new, but is there a way to access parents' emails before open house so that you could send maybe a short welcome email to parents?
Yes, you'll see that when we get into Power School. You've got direct access to all Power School. If it's been loading into the year, it's in your Power School page.
If they
If
gave
they're
us-
active.
If
Yeah.
they
have it.
That's what I said, if it's been given, it's there.
If they have it.
If they filled out the forms last year, whatever was on the forms last year, it's usually been uploaded already.
I mean, I know the intentions are that you take something like this and you just squash it down to like it's smaller. But at first we said, and especially since our kids are younger and many of them copy each other, they're gonna all be saying he's a bully, and I think we'll have a lot of it to begin with, and we just kind of squash it down.
That's important in the beginning, to have a discussion and define truly what bullying is. That definition breaks it down, and you may have to water those words down for certain students in your class, but that is the definition, and we really need to make sure the consistent piece, they consistently do this to that person. Those classroom meetings will start to diminish that he picked on me one time, or guess what, he just touched me, I just got bullied. It will start to really bring out what is truly happening as a bully situation in your classroom. And that is the beauty of this program.
There was one thing that we talked about, that it could be consistent but not, like my daughter's very small, or like Emily's tall, things that people point out that hurt the other person and is bullying in a way, but how do we, is part of this program showing the children how to respond to that? Yes, you may be small, and that's obvious that you're small and it hurts you, or yes, you're tall, it's hurtful, but giving them responses back for obvious features that after a while they start to feel it impacts them. Do you understand what I mean?
On the classroom, I hate to go back to the same book,
Yeah.
but this Class Meetings That Matter, this is an amazing book, and I'm actually going to be using some of this as curriculum for my own program, not using the same classroom meetings you all are having by no means, but there is a lot of information. You can look and you can say, I'm having this problem in the class, and you can find it in here. And if you can't, it gives you resources. It gives you things like peer relationships, promoting acceptance. I'm small, she's tall. Hot spots where in the school, identifying feelings, and communication. It gives you exact character guide in here, and I think you'll find it will be addressed. And Pam brought up a good point. If your fifth grader just isn't getting what's going on in the fifth grade lesson, drop down to the fourth grade, and see if that's a little bit easier for them to digest until they start to get what they need to for the fifth grade level.
Are we going to receive copies of the parent booklets, what to do if your child is bullied? Or, I know it says on CD-ROM, but are we expected to copy it ourselves?
And we're not gonna.
Okay.
We don't know how many copies to
Okay.
make, so it could be a real waste of,
Okay,
and it could be that you're not gonna make a copy, but
okay.
just do it electronically.
It might be that you pull that part of your CD up, so when you're talking to the parent, you have those words to support your conversation in front of you. That would be an option. Of course, we're not gonna have any parent problems this year. I feel so.
Never.
You can print them as you need them.
Print 'em, yeah.
Any more questions?